Imagine going from living in a $48 million mansion with every comfort you could think of to being stuck in a small, cold jail cell. That's exactly what's happening to Diddy right now. He used to fly in private jets, enjoy a life full of luxury, and be surrounded by fame. Now, he's waking up at 6 a.m. in a prison in Brooklyn.
Sean Diddy Combs is locked up in a federal jail that has been plagued by harsh conditions and violence. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has seen multiple deaths in recent years. An inmate was stabbed to death in July, and several others have died by suicide. It's these reasons, among others, that Combs' lawyers are fighting to get him out of there. They want him released on bail rather than being kept in jail while he awaits trial on charges.
It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. Diddy's life has taken a complete turn, and things are already looking tough for him. He's been put on suicide watch, which means guards are keeping an eye on him 24/7. This is serious, as they want to make sure he doesn't harm himself. But it's not just that. He's being held in MDC Brooklyn, a place known for being uncomfortable, especially for someone who's used to living in such luxury. His lawyers have even complained, saying the conditions there are terrible and not right for someone who's still waiting for their trial. This is a massive change from the life Diddy is used to. Instead of personal chefs and all the comforts of his mansion, he now has to face cold, bare surroundings. He's stuck with strict rules, basic food, and no access to the internet or communication with the outside world. His situation has completely flipped, and it's a lot to take in for someone who's lived in luxury for so long. Instead of having private chefs and a life of luxury, Diddy now has to deal with plain prison life. Cold, simple surroundings, strict schedules, and no contact with the outside world. Let's look at how Diddy is getting used to this big change and what his days in prison are like. Before, Diddy could wake up whenever he wanted, surrounded by comfort. Now, he has to get up at 6 a.m. every day, just like the other inmates. Breakfast is no longer fancy meals. He now eats simple food like cereal, fruit, and a small cake. It's a huge difference from the 5-star meals he's used to, and it's just the start of how his life has changed. But it's not only the food. In prison, Diddy isn't a superstar anymore. He's no longer the famous guy with fans cheering for him. Now, he's just known by his inmate number, a way of showing that he's just another prisoner. Behind bars, Diddy's fame, money, and influence don't matter. He's treated just like everyone else, with no special treatment. For someone who's been famous for decades, this is likely one of the hardest things to accept. Diddy is watched 24/7 by guards, so every move he makes is monitored. He probably has no private moments at all. His living conditions are far from luxurious. No VIP treatment here. In fact, the prison is described as cold and uncomfortable, with nothing fancy. Everything is planned out for the inmates. No freedom to make their own choices, no comfort, and definitely no luxury. Diddy now has to follow strict rules and a set schedule. Being famous might even make things harder for him. Diddy's celebrity status makes him a target. Some inmates might see harming someone as famous as Diddy as a way to gain respect, so he has to watch his back constantly. He can't trust anyone, and every interaction could be dangerous. It's a scary reality for someone used to always having security and protection.
3 hots and a cot, as they say, 3 meals, 3 showers per week, very austere conditions, and anytime there's movement in the special housing unit, it's controlled. Inmates are restrained, leg irons, handcuffs, belly chain.
Diddy isn't the first celebrity to struggle at this prison. R. Kelly was held there while awaiting trial, and his lawyer described it as one of the worst experiences she'd ever heard of. It wasn't just the bad conditions. The guards treated him poorly too. There are even stories about guards making him sing because of his fame, using his celebrity status against him. You can't help but wonder if Diddy is going through the same thing. Being a big name can make you a target, not only for other inmates, but sometimes for the guards as well. They might see him as a source of entertainment or a way to show their power. The situation at this prison has been so bad that it has gone into lockdown multiple times. In fact, 4 federal judges have refused to send more prisoners there. Even though Diddy is locked up, he's still fighting. His legal team is working hard to prove his innocence, but it won't be easy. 2 judges have already denied his bail, so he has to stay in prison until his trial begins. His lawyers argue that the conditions are terrible and not suitable for someone waiting for trial. But so far, the judges haven't been convinced. Despite everything, Diddy's team isn't giving up. They believe in his innocence and are doing everything they can to get him out. According to his legal team, Diddy is staying strong, healthy, and focused on his defense. But staying strong in a place like this is tough. Every day is a struggle, and even though Diddy is used to handling pressure, this situation is on a whole different level. Diddy isn't getting any special privileges in prison. He has to follow the same strict rules as everyone else. This includes showing up for bed counts on time, making his bed by 7:30 a.m., and sticking to a basic daily routine. He also has to stand by his bed for 5 official head counts each day. There's no room for mistakes in prison. If Diddy breaks the rules, he'll face the same consequences as any other inmate. This is a huge shift for someone who used to control every part of his life. Now, the government is responsible for his safety and well-being. Life at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, is completely different from Diddy's old life. There's no internet, no smartphones, and no contact with the outside world. He's cut off from everything he once knew. When he gets time outside, it's in a small, enclosed space with almost no privacy. For someone who used to travel the world in private jets, this is a major change. He's now in a place where even basic freedoms are gone. What's making things even harder for Diddy is the constant risk to his safety. The prison isn't a safe place, especially for someone as famous as him. A former warden of MDC Brooklyn pointed out that Diddy's celebrity status, along with the charges against him, makes him a prime target for attacks. In prison, assaulting a high-profile inmate like Diddy can earn other inmates respect. There's also the added danger of how some prison staff might treat him. Despite trying to stay strong, Diddy is facing challenges he's never experienced before. Officials claim they're working to improve conditions at MDC. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has sent a special team to address the ongoing issues, planning to hire more correctional officers and medical staff to boost safety. They're also tackling over 700 maintenance problems that have piled up. But the big question remains, will these changes actually make things better for Diddy? Even if they manage to fix some of the problems, it doesn't mean life will get any easier for Diddy. The prison wasn't built for comfort. It's still a tough environment. No matter how many improvements are made, Diddy will still have to deal with harsh conditions, lack of freedom, and the ongoing threats to his safety. The changes might help, but they won't take away the daily challenges he faces as an inmate. In short, Diddy's life inside prison is a far cry from the luxury and freedom he once knew. Despite any improvements made to the facility, he'll continue to face harsh conditions, strict rules, and the constant risk to his safety. This new reality is testing him in ways he's never experienced before, and the road ahead won't be easy. What do you think? Will Diddy's legal team succeed in getting him out, or is he in for an even tougher fight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this story.